thing about Camrys. You could drive a Camry for 30 years, it'll never even slip its gears. You can sell a Camry from a boat, you can sell a Camry to a goat. They're safe to drive in the rain, and you can sell a Camry from a train, you can sell a Camry from a box, you can sell a Camry to a fox, you can sell a Camry from a house, you can sell a Camry to a mouse. You can sell a Camry here or there, and with Carmigo, heck, you can sell a Camry anywhere. It's July 2023, and these are our predictions for the best and worst cars to sell this month. You're watching Used Cars Made Easy, brought to you by Carmigo. But first, let's talk a little bit about the market and why it has me thinking about Dr. Seuss and kangaroos. The used car market has been weird for so long that weird is now normal, and normal would be weird. You've probably heard of a bear market, and you've probably heard of a bull market, but do you know about the kangaroo market? Boing, 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 boing. The used car market is in a bit of a kangaroo market. It's just, who knows at this point. When the used car market's a little out of whack, people want to buy cars that they feel safe betting on. Cars that they think are gonna last a while, and that when they do sell, no matter what the market is, it'll resell for a decent value. They're not speculating it's gonna sell for a lot, and they're not buying a car that's gonna depreciate fast. They're looking for cars that are just sort of a sure bet. And so what's a sure bet in a kangaroo economy? It's a Camry. It's a Toyota Camry. So what does it mean about you if you drive a Toyota Camry? It means you're a safe dude, and it's cool to be safe. And also, if you wanted to sell it right now, you could probably make a good buck off of it. All right, now that we've got that silly market summary out of the way, it's the moment you've all been waiting for, our red light, green light report. These are the cars that we think are gonna sell the best and the worst this month. All right, first up, we've got our green light cars. If you've got one of these cars, we think you're gonna get more offers and higher offers in July. The Toyota Camry, the Chevy Malibu and mid-size sedans in general, the Honda CR-V, the Hyundai Kona, and the Hyundai Santa Fe. Your red light cars this month are Ford Mavericks, Ford Broncos, the Maserati Ghibli, I don't know, I'm not that rich. And then you've got luxury SUVs, and finally the Mazda CX series. Here's a little bit more about why we think our green light cars are gonna sell well this month. We've already talked about the Camry. It's just a sure bet in an unsure market. It feels like I say this every month. They sell well, they get more offers, they get higher offers than most other cars in the Carmigo marketplace. If you want to sell a Camry, now's a great month to do it. That also applies to like the Chevy Malibu, the Nissan Altima, the Honda Accord, the Toyota Avalon. These are just mid-size sedans. Mid-size sedans are sure bet. They get pretty good gas mileage, so if gas prices are wild, people are still okay with buying these cars. They're not tiny, so you still have room for your family, for your groceries or whatever, and they're pretty reliable as far as cars go. The Honda CR-V. CR-V owners like CR-Vs. They'll drive them into the ground. And so in the rare instance that someone wants to sell their CR-V, they go pretty quick. They get more offers, they get higher offers, they get snatched up quick. A moderately used CR-V does really well in the Carmigo marketplace. The Hyundai Kona. Welcome back to the list, you little firecracker. Basically, subcompact crossovers are doing pretty well right now. People who want something a little bigger than their sedan, something a little more capable than their sedan, something they can maybe drive over a curb with. And so that's your subcompact SUVs. Your Hyundai Kona, your VW Taos, your Buick Encore. These cars are selling pretty well this month. Finally, the Hyundai Santa Fe. The Hyundai Santa Fe does great. Mid-size SUVs do well, but the Hyundai Santa Fe always sells great on the Carmigo marketplace. We've also seen the Equinox and the Tucson sell really well. So we think going into July, mid-size SUVs are gonna do well, specifically the Hyundai Santa Fe. Here's a little bit more on the market conditions that are affecting the red light cars this month. First up, Mavericks. So Maverick has long kind of been on the bottom for us. It's been on the bottom of this list. We like the Ford Maverick. Problem is, you got the Ford Ranger, you got the Ford F-150, both very popular trucks, and the new Mavericks don't cost that much, right? So if you're trying to resell a used Maverick, people would rather just buy a new Maverick for about the same price. That combined with the fact that the bottom fell out on trucks, gas prices are soaring again, and the market's a little unstable, so folks are just staying away from trucks. People still need work trucks, but driving around trucks, not so much. Mavericks are sort of just leading the way, but trucks in general are not gonna do well, we think, in July. The Ford Bronco did not do well this last month. It hasn't done well for a while. A lot of people bought Ford Broncos when they were on the waiting list, and so there was a lot of demand. People were willing to pay a lot more money for a Ford Bronco, which was already a popular car because they hadn't made it for decades, and people have been clamoring for it, so Ford comes out with it, it looks great, people buy it. They sell out, they can't make enough, so people are willing to pay a lot more if they can get their hands on a used one, and so they paid a lot of money for those Broncos too, so they want to make their money back. They want to pay off their loan, so they're trying to get that much money for a used Bronco. The market is not willing to do it. It's a very similar situation as the Tesla, except it seems like people like their Broncos. People seem to be trying to get rid of their Teslas. I put the Maserati Ghibli on here just because or Ghibli or whatever it is, the Maserati on here, just because we had some listed and just a wild car to see in the marketplace. Yeah, luxury cars in general, your GLS, your C-Class, your A8, your M2s, they're just not doing that great. Luxury cars lose value faster than other cars just generally, and so in an unsure market where people don't have a ton of cash to throw around, they lose value even faster. The XC60 didn't do well on the Carmigo marketplace this month, but also just in general, the QX60, the SQ5, the Q3, the X3, the Model Y, the X4, the XC90, just those luxury SUVs, they're not selling well. That's because midsize SUVs are plenty nice and way more affordable, and folks it's an unsure market. And then finally, the Mazda CX series are super undervalued right now. We're seeing offers come in under MMR pretty much across the board, which to me indicates just a general market distaste for that car right now. Or distaste is a strong word. Just the market's trying to stay away from the CX right now. If you have a red light car that you need to sell this month, expect fewer and lower offers. If you can wait, this is probably not the best month to sell any of the cars we just talked about. If you're still with us for the Market Watch, drop us a little comment below. Here we go. The market has been so weird for so long that is now normal, and normal would be weird. According to the Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index, consumer sentiment around vehicle buying conditions hit the lowest level so far this year in May. It still remains higher than it was last year. Last year was pretty wild, especially when the market went pew. Much like with the general car buying public, car dealerships, car sellers are not feeling super great about the market either. In a Cox Automotive survey, dealerships said that they don't really expect the market to go up or down. A lot of folks just sort of aren't sure which way the market's gonna go or how fast it's gonna go which way. So when it comes down to like economy priced, reliable midsize cars and SUVs, that's where we're seeing the market honed in right now. That's where the focus is. Used car prices held going into the summer this year, summer 2023, and that's another thing we just didn't expect. Last month, we reported the average listing price for a used car was just under $27,000, and that's actually up to $27,256, just like $250, $300. After all those crazy market drops we saw last year, just holding is impressive, or just going down a little bit. We don't expect to see big price shifts going forward, but this little uptick during like a seasonally down time is a good sign. May 2023, which is our most recent full set of data, shows that car sales are down compared with both April of this year and May of 2022. So we're down month to month, and we're also down year to year. Early returns for June seem to show like that we're going to get a slight uptick, something compared to where we were in March as far as used sale volume. Here's what Chris Frey has to say about used vehicle sales going into July. He's Cox Automotive's Manager of Economic and Industry Insights. The retail used vehicle story is still being influenced by inventory, which is near the lowest point in our data set, which goes back to 2019. The tight inventory is holding prices higher, but our team also believes that high interest rates and elevated retail prices are hurting demand. Wholesale prices have been coming down in recent months, which likely means lower retail prices are on the horizon. So thanks to pandemic production shortages and economic slowdowns, we still don't have as many recent used cars in the market, or new used cars, if you will. So recent models of used cars are in higher demand. Wholesale used cars are slipping in price a little bit, but I don't think that's going to reflect the retail used car market because of the inventory issues that we talked about. So normally I would say watch that wholesale market if you're planning to sell a used car just to see when the right time to sell is. But right now I don't think that that's an indicator because there's an inventory shortage for retail cars. So on the new car front, new car sales dipped a little bit this month as inventory hit a year high. There are now 825,000 more new cars available on the market than there were this time last year. So that's definitely going to start impacting new car prices. Manufacturers can't say like, oh, there's not that many available anymore as an excuse for high prices. Thankfully, we're seeing the average new car list price slip a little bit as it reapproached all-time highs. Part of that is due to manufacturer incentives being introduced and increased. Manufacturer incentives continue to rise to nearly $2,000 on average per transaction as brands try to move this extra inventory, these 825,000 more cars than we had last year that I was just talking about. Let's check in with Charlie Chesbro, Cox Automotive Senior Economist, to see what he has to say about this weird month. The month of May ended on a slightly less positive note than when it started, suggesting some weakening of demand. Sales for new vehicles began to decline near the end of the month, after rising throughout the month as supply continued to increase. That caused days of supply, which is based on active supply and the daily sales rate, to edge higher. Meantime, prices for new vehicles slipped, another indication of slightly weaker demand. Even with those sales decreasing, we're seeing new car sales 23% higher than they were last year, which could be a little bit why the used car market feels so loose right now. So the vehicle affordability index actually went down this month, which is good. It's like golf, you want a lower number. It improved, but that's just because the average salary went up a little bit. Even though the average list price went down, we still see these high interest rates. The average new auto loan rate increased to nearly 9%, and the average monthly new car payment continued to climb past $750. we're still seeing monthly new car payments go up, even with the affordability index going down. That's because the new auto loan interest rate on average has increased to 9%. Average new car monthly payment has gone up over $750. The average new car payment is actually hit $768 this month. That's the average. That's not the high. That is wild. Cox Automotive Chief Economist Jonathan Smoke said the reason we're still seeing the price go up, even though the affordability index is going down, is because we're still experiencing some ripples from the last bunch of months of Fed rate increases. So here's what he said. The Fed pausing rate hikes after 15 months doesn't undo the numerous increases that have limited new vehicle retail sales growth over the past year. However, the good news for consumers is that the rates they see on auto loans likely peaked earlier this year and may not move up despite the threat of another rate increase in July. There you have it, used cars made easy for July. It's still a weird market, so people are trying to buy more midsize sedans, midsize SUVs, and reliable vehicles. Luxury and SUVs are out the window until gas prices in the used car market can stabilize for a prolonged period again. And new cars may start to go down in price, but the monthly payment is still climbing to astronomical heights. And finally, your green light cars, if you have one of these, you can get more offers and better offers probably in July. Red light cars probably gonna get fewer and lower offers in July. Here are your green light cars, your Toyota Camry, your Chevy Malibu and midsize cars in general, your Honda CR-V, your Hyundai Kona, and your Hyundai Santa Fe, and midsize SUVs in general. Your red light cars, one more time, you got the Ford Maverick, the Ford Bronco, the Maserati and luxury cars in general, the XC60 and luxury SUVs in general, and then finally your Mazda CX series. Thank you so much for watching July's Used Cars Made Easy, brought to you by Carmigo. If you like this kind of thing, don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. And if you're trying to sell a used car this month, head over to carmigo.io. Carmigo sellers typically get multiple offers in as little as a day from dealerships all over the country.